So it's finally happened. Wrexham co-owners and Hollywood superstars Reynolds and McElhenney have finally watched their first Wrexham games. They finally visited Wrexham, creating a huge buzz, huge excitement. But what really matters is the football on the pitch. Oh hi guys, welcome to another episode of WrexhamMania on the Welsh Beast YouTube channel. Please, as always, subscribe if you haven't already. If you can do that, thank you very, very much. There's only one place to start. That's with the big story this week. A huge story, massive news. Reynolds and McElhenney have visited Wrexham. It created a storm of interest, global interest. The town hasn't seen anything like this in a decade, at least 20 years. I can't remember another time like this. And to be fair, they got involved. Give them their dues, they got involved. They met the fans, they walked on Wrexham, they spoke to the press, 3-4 days in a row. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. You know, we knew it was going to happen. There were rumours that they were going to be in town for the Torquay game. But they rocked up a game earlier. They rocked up to Macclesfield. They rocked up to the Maidenhead match. Maidenhead away, unannounced, without warning. They turned up and just surprised everybody. There's McElhenney with a coffee from the burger stand. Brave man, very brave indeed, but what a way to do it. Spectacular in my opinion. No announcement, no warning, just boom, rocked right up, as cool as you like, as calm as you like. Caught everyone by surprise. And like I said, they stayed in the UK for the Torquay match the following Saturday. They committed themselves to the town, to the media. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. You've got to give them their dues. They're proper boys. Because they could have just dipped in and out, turned up for the Maidenhead and just come on the Saturday for Torquay. But no, they were at the Racecourse the next day, all day. They were around Wrexham the following day. Like I said, multiple commitments. They communicated with fans. They left themselves open to, you know, discussions, communication. Here's the picture from the press conference, dreaming big. Big ideas about reaching the Premier League. Could happen, I suppose. Stranger things do happen now and again. There they are at night in front of the famous floodlights. What have we got here? Fantastic. That's from the weekend's game at Torquay, or against Torquay at the Racecourse. Here they are on the booze, with, I believe, Richard Williams from the Leader. There you go, Richard, having a great time there on the Wrexham Lager. Where's yours? I don't see Richard with his Wrexham Lager, but he's on the job, I suppose. No drinking on the job. Great picture that, in front of the Kop. The Kop covered up at the moment, for it's going to be rebuilt. Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. Here's another one from the Daily Post, with fans, lots of pictures with fans. They were everywhere, they did everything, they met everybody, boozing in the turf, buying ponchos from the butcher's market, you know, visiting St Giles Church. Brilliant stuff from the lads. Brilliant stuff. Really got involved with the community, went to the Glyndor University to see the work that the Disabled Trust do. Kerry Evans and his team, the work they do, really got involved, really committed themselves to the week, action-packed, on their behalf a packed schedule, didn't duck anything, didn't hide away. Brilliant stuff. But as I said in the intro, it's the football that really matters when all this is said and done, and as we know, the results are not good enough. As mentioned, the new Wrexham owners rocked up at the Maidenhead game unannounced, but it was a disappointing night for them and indeed Wrexham fans. Wrexham lost the game 3-2. Paul Mullin and Jordan Davis scoring for Wrexham, but it wasn't enough. You know, a very disappointing result, especially after that brilliant performance against Barnet. An excellent performance by Barnet, and they've thrown away that result by losing to Maidenhead, which was a deserved defeat. To be fair, they weren't really at it. Was it the owners making an appearance? Phil Parkinson knew in advance that they were coming. He kept quiet, but that should inspire the players, not distract them and have a negative effect. You know, there can be no complaints. They got off to a very bad start, Wrexham, conceding 2 very, goals in quick succession inside the first half hour. You know, from early on, Maidenhead looked dangerous. Smith broke forward and had a chance, but the goals could have all been prevented. Poor defending for the first goal. Brisley didn't clear the ball properly. It allowed Maidenhead to break far too easily. Some good football around the box. A cross was put in, and Ferdinand has scored with a header at the near post. No one tracking him, no challenge. But it all started with Brisley not clearing the ball properly. The second goal, Dibble could have done better. There was talk of a foul by Maidenhead, but again, far too easy. You know, there was no picking up players. Mingy was completely unmarked, and he fired a shot that just squeezed under Dibble. You know, Dibble could have done better, but he wasn't given the protection by the midfield, by the defence. Far too easy, for Maidenhead. And then it's a uphill struggle then. You know, Maidenhead had another chance with Smith, who volleyed wide before Hosanna was sent off in what we know is now a mistaken identity. It's been rectified. Paul Mullin is serving a 3-match ban. Great goal by Mullin to get one back for Wrexham. Good numbers in the box. Great free kick by Davis. Brisley hit the bar. And good instincts and reaction from Mullin to give them a lifeline. Good goal just before half time. Great time to score. And I listened to the game on the radio. I didn't go, but according to the radio, Wrexham were brilliant in the second half. A much better reaction. It was all Wrexham, with Jordan Davis controlling the game, creating the most opportunities, being the star player, certainly of that half. Wayne Phillips said the Maidenhead defence was scared of Mullin. He was obviously, in their thoughts and creating nerves, and a lot of the attention obviously on Mullin has allowed other players to capitalise on that perhaps. Davis scored a lovely sweet goal, lovely low drive. But again, they've allowed Maidenhead to get back into it. They've not gone on and got the winner. They've conceded a third, again, poor defending. It was a lovely ball over the top for Josh Kelly, and he had two defenders with him. Hayden and Reckard were there, and he's done them both. Turned inside and fired into the goal. Hayden was going ballistic, but it was his own fault. Have they got in each other's way? Have they sort of, did they think the other guy was going to do the work? But again, he turned them far too easy. And it was end-to-end stuff, after then. But in fact, it was Maidenhead who had the final chance of the game, which produced a great save by Dibble. But, very disappointing. They've given themselves too much work to do with poor defending, and they couldn't get back into it. You try and put a positive spin on it, or they've come back they're down to 10 men and they've come back, and, the owners were impressed with the battling qualities, but no, it's not good enough. The tempo is not good enough. The desire is not good enough. Even though it was better in the second half, it's, games that they should be winning, especially when they need to climb that table and get into the playoff spots. Especially after the great win at Barnet. To throw it away so soon, in such a sort of feeble way, was disappointing. But, you're hoping, Tozer was in midfield again, which has worked so well. It's the first time this formation has shown vulnerabilities. But poor defending has to be sorted out. Wrexham lost 3-2 away to Maidenhead. After the setback against Maidenhead, it was party time at the Racecourse. The new owners were in town. It was superstar time. Wrexham was buzzing. Everyone on a high. Just an amazing week, an amazing time. The owners, their first home game, sellout crowd of over 9,800, and I've got some stats here. Some stats from the Wrexham website, from Mark Griffiths, who knows everything there is about Wrexham. The first season since 1980-81, in which Wrexham's first 5 games had attendances of over 5,000. Wrexham's biggest attendance of the season, the biggest in the National League this season. The attendance was just 107 short of the biggest ever crowd to watch Wrexham play Torquay. I mean, Wrexham are continuing to break records. This game could have sold out double. It could have easily done 20,000, I think. It was kept under 10,000 because of the COVID restrictions, but I believe with all this interest and excitement, 20,000 was possible. I don't think that's far-fetched. Crowds got there early. I always get to games early if I can. I like to be there. And I noticed more people there early. The stands filling up earlier. Great buzz. Photographers out. Fans celebrating. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. The owners officially opened the Rexrent stand. They laid a wreath down for Remembrance Sunday. They addressed the crowd, which was expected. That's why the majority were there early, to make sure they didn't miss out. Ryan Reynolds did most of the talking. Rob didn't say much. This time he's normally, from my opinion, the most passionate and the most into it, I think, out of the two. He seems to be the one driving it and more in tune. I might be wrong, but from my point of view, that's what it looks like. But some great stuff from Ryan Reynolds and obviously Rob. You know, they understand this club. As they said, they looked at other clubs. They wanted a club of history. No other club came close. They know about what the club means to people. They want to help the community. And the community turned up for them on Saturday. A big crowd. A great occasion. Everyone loved it. But again, a disappointing result. Really disappointing. Wrexham drew 1-1 with Torquay, a better result than last year, which they lost 1-0 in the dying seconds, in a game that they deserved something from that game. To lose the way they did was unfair, but again, it wasn't really good enough on Saturday against Torquay. They got off to a brilliant start. Harry Lennon scored after 4 minutes. Out the blue, obviously very early in the game, but it did seem to come from nowhere, which, you know, welcomed early start. Great opportunity to build on that. They never did. But what a start. The start everyone wanted. That coincided with the occasion. But they didn't really build on that. It was a dangerous throw-in from Tozer. You know, those throw-ins which are so lethal and so are much used as a weapon of attack, are finally starting to generate some goals. This generated a goal. Great ball into the box, and Lennon just swept it in on the half volley. Great start. Wrexham sort of sat back after that and allowed Torquay to come forward, have a lot of the ball. Torquay created nothing with that ball. I was disappointed with them. Torquay are struggling themselves after losing in the playoffs last year. I thought they'd be possibly the favourites for promotion this year. I believe they lost some players, but such a good team last year. I mean, certainly the 3-1 win at their ground, at Torquay against Wrexham last year, I think was the best, you know, watching it on the streams, was the best performance I've seen against Wrexham last year. I thought Torquay would be doing much better than they are, and they had no attack on Saturday. When they were allowed the ball, they didn't create anything. Wrexham were very organised, good position, defence very solid, and then Wrexham gradually grew into the half. James Jones had a chance. Ponticelli, I think, had a header that he flicked wide. There was a shout of a penalty where I think Jones went down. You know, was he looking for it? Davis could have done better with a free kick. But Wrexham deservedly up at half time. 1-0 up. Shame they didn't get more. Shame they didn't build on the early goal. But they were comfortable. They were comfortable. The better team. It's what we all wanted. You know, so far so good for the occasion. But in the second half, it was completely flat. From my opinion, Wrexham really didn't step it up and go for it. They didn't really, you know, look to impress. They didn't have any ambition. It was stale from both sides. I mean, a very even second half. Nothing of note created really. I suppose at the end, was it Lennon who had a free header towards the end? Hosanna had a shout for a penalty. Again, was he looking for it? But the warning signs were there. When I think it was it Dobson had a free header for Torquay, which was a good sort of catch, good save from Dibble, but the warning signs were there, and you had the feeling that Torquay were going to spoil it all. 1-0 is not good enough. Even though there was no immediate danger overall, the warning sign was enough. You felt it was going to happen. And some good football outside the Wrexham box. Armstrong, Johnson put a good ball in, and Lemony Evans, free header, completely unmarked, between the defenders, couldn't miss. Couldn't miss. And there was no real response from Wrexham after that. It was a fairly even game, you know, no real chances. Probably Wrexham had the best chance with that Lennon header, but you didn't see him go for it, you didn't see them pile on the pressure. You know, it wasn't good enough overall. It needs to be better in these circumstances. Very, very flat, I think, and Wrexham were never really in danger in the match. They were never second best. They perhaps just shaded it but didn't do enough. I think the draw was fair, all things considered, because Wrexham didn't dominate throughout. They didn't impose themselves on the game. Ponticelli was in for Mullin, who was suspended. But, you know, even though he works hard, is 10 out of 10 for effort and work rate, he doesn't score enough. Angus is not scoring enough. It was nice to see Lennon chip in. We need more scorers. We can't keep relying on Mullin. But it was a very disappointing result. And a sad, disappointing end to a great week, which the football is letting down this euphoria. The club is safe. The club is secure. That's something. It's going to exist for decades. The financial worries are gone for now and the foreseeable future. But this desperate, you know, this dream of promotion again, to get out of the National League, to get back to the Football League, it's not happening. A team that was supposed to walk the league, arguably the best squad, well, certainly the best squad in the league. Is it the best team that's gelling? No. We looked like we had the formation. That was changed on Saturday. Brisley was on the bench for some reason. Tozer was back at centre-back. But again, Wrexham are not moving the ball quick enough. They're not dominating the games enough. They're not capitalising on early goals. Time and again, they're scoring first and allowing teams to get back into it. They're not killing off games. A disappointing result that leaves Wrexham 13th in the league with lots of work to do for promotion. Wrexham won, Torquay won in what was a fabulous week overall. So as I said, Wrexham are down to 13th in the table. They're on 17 points. You know, with a few games in hand on teams above them and around them. Boreham Wood have climbed the way to the top of the league. They've got 30 points ahead of Grimsby. Boreham Wood, some dark horses there. They are the dark horses. Grimsby you can expect to be up there. Chesterfield a third on 29 points as well. Very tight up there. Bromley a fourth, 27 points. Halifax Town on 27. Notts County 7th on 25 points. That last playoff spot. Dagenham and Redbridge have dropped out of the top 7. They're on 23 points. Some bad results for them lately. Quite a few defeats after looking so good, so impressive, so strong. But Wrexham 13 points from the top. 8 points from 7th with some games in hand. but they've got to win them and then keep winning. You know, it's a struggle. Will Parkinson stay? After the game against Torquay, people I talked to on the way home, people around me, it's all Parkinson. People online, you know, they don't think he's the right man for the job. It looked like he turned it around with this great formation. Someone's going to have to be given time. You know, you cannot keep overreacting to setbacks. You have to just accept, you know, a team will need time to gel. A manager will need time to, you know, improve. I thought Keats should have stayed, and Keats given 10 games. Keats given, you know, I wanted Keats to have the big crowds. I wanted Keats to have Ben Tozer and Paul Mullin and Hayden and Brisley and all the sponsors and the opportunity. You know, 1 point off the playoffs, Keats finished in difficult circumstances, in a difficult world. I thought he should have been given at least 10 games to see what he could do. And if it's like this, you're valid in changing him. But you can't sack Parkinson so early. You know, everything, it has to, you know, obviously people want it now. Wrexham should be in the top 3. It should be Wrexham on 29 points. Or certainly in the 20s. Yes, they've played a couple of games less. But, you know, Bromley have played 1 game more than Wrexham, and they've got 10 more points. You know, Barnet are a point behind Wrexham. They played two games more, but Barnet, who Wrexham dismantled in brilliant fashion, you know, are a point behind them. I haven't played 2 games more, as I said, but you know, no one was expecting this, and it's slowly going to become too hard. The league is gone. Top 3 is going to be hard unless there's a turnaround of epic, you know, proportions and a run of 6 wins in a row. That's what it's going to take. 8 wins out of 10, something like that, which we thought was possible after Barnet, and then they've gone and let themselves down at a crucial time, which I think was on the cards. The owners coming over was always going to jinx it. You always felt, you know, sod's law, the party was going to be spoilt. But Wrexham are now in the FA Cup this weekend against Harrogate. Will the cup run save their season? They need something to spark it. It's dead at the moment. Off the pitch, it's exciting and dreamland, but on the pitch, it's dead, it's stale, it's disappointing. Wrexham 13th, work to do. It has to improve quickly. It's not good enough. Here is the latest Humphrey Kerr column, and this week it's very brief. He quickly and briefly mentions Rob and Ryan coming over and the buzz it's generated. I'll read the column to you. Wow, what a week at Wrexham Football Club. It's been manic with Rob and Ryan at the Racecourse and surprising everybody by turning up at Maidenhead on Tuesday night. They can't wait for Saturday's game, and I bet all Wrexham fans can't either. It's like Christmas come early, so just 2 more sleeps to go. I'll give you the full lowdown in next week's column. Come on, you Reds. Very brief. He's too busy to fill us in, to tell us the secrets of what he's been up to with the owners, who he's mates with, who he knows already, who's entrusted him with responsibilities of running the club. Some great pictures there with Rob and Ryan with fans. Selfies down there, me and some kids, some young fans, signing shirts and memorabilia. There's Ryan Reynolds spoiling the new pitch that's just been relayed. There's a picture there, you can do what you like. So let's see what Humphrey has to say next week. Hopefully he'll give us the juicy details. He never does. He's a bit cagey in his columns, but always worth a read, always interesting. So he's been caught up in the week, doesn't have time to fill us in, doesn't have time to do his column, but who can blame him? We'll let you off this week, Humphrey. Great news for the club. The boys finally came over. Here is this week's Wrexham question. Would a good run in one of the cups, obviously the FA Cup is the biggest one, would a cup run save Wrexham's season? Would you be happy with a good run in one of the cups as a replacement for the poor league form? Would a cup run salvage Wrexham's season? That's this week's Wrexham question. Let me know, wherever you watch this, comment, react, let me know. That's this week's Wrexham question. So, thanks for watching. That's the end of this week's episode. A Ryan and Rob special, I believe. Great news for the town, great news for the community. Disappointments on the pitch. Like I said, it doesn't last forever. The reality is the football. The reality is the results. And the results have not been good enough. They have to improve. Let's hopefully it starts happening. And fast. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.